Hey, why you keep following me? Let me run out here by myself. See, make it easy on me.
Nothing comes easy against Rams linebacker James Laurinaitis. In just his second year, he's become one of the league's top defensive players.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific play by 55. I love the way James Laurinaitis fights through 4 quarters.
Laurinaitis credits his success to a work ethic he inherited from his father.
Love you, man.
He's always kind of taught me that today's preparation determines tomorrow's success, and that's something I've lived by my whole life. So I think he kind of messed me up mentally. So anytime I try to take a day off, I can't ever just relax because I always freak out about someone else not working me.
Just your typical football dad, right?
Let's go!
Not quite.
It took me until late elementary school, early middle school to kind of realize that Dad's job was different. You know, to me, Dad was always Dad, and that's just the way he was. I always called it a unique childhood, but to me, that was what normal was just watching Dad on TV and seeing him do what his profession was.
Starting in 1983, 3 years before James was born, Father Joe was known as the Animal, a pro wrestling superstar and part of the tag team Road Warriors.
Well, I think they learned real quick that it was Halloween 365 days a year for me. When I came off the road, I left Animal on the shelf, and I came home and I was Dad.
Joe coached his sons in a variety of youth sports. Never once did he body slam any of them. For young James, life with the Animal was nothing out of the ordinary.
I distinctly remember eating Oreos with wrestlers like Earthquake and Typhoon. That was just normal to me.
Texan safety Dominique Barber grew up with Laurinaitis. Like most Minnesota kids, they played football and hockey. But they also dreamed of clotheslines and drop kicks.
You know, James always had pay-per-view events at his house. We would always try to reenact.
I took James and his hockey team. I brought him down to the St. Paul Civic Center at the time to watch wrestling matches, right?
Just ended up, you know, going down to the ring, wrestling around, probably about 3 o'clock. Show doesn't usually start till 7 or 8.
I'm sitting back there, and who's sipping a cup of coffee but Stone Cold Steve Austin? He goes, "Hey, Joe, is that your boy?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Flick that switch right there."
We were all in the ring, and all of a sudden, Stone Cold, the music, his music comes on, and
he runs down the ring. He goes, "Who's the first kid that runs to Steve Austin?" It's James.
We all just scattered out of the ring except James.
He throws Dom out of the ring. He throws me against the ropes and then yells, "Duck." I duck.
James does the whole duck thunder, and then Steve Austin comes back, gives him a little kick, and
gives him a Stone Cold Stunner.
I think all my friends were I thought I was dead.
You know, that's just James. You know, he's always ready.
I think James was the only one that wasn't afraid of him because he knew exactly what to do. Yeah. I think that's from practice on his poor sister. Yeah. Every time I looked around, either Jessica was getting stunnered or she was getting tombstoned.
I was the kid that had, you know, I would ask for every single action figure, and I would draw out my own little wrestling card, and my dad would give me the actual music of the wrestlers, so I would play the music, you know, fake walk them down to the ring. I would do full-out matches. My dad and his partner never lost, that's for sure. Legion of Doom was always going to win on my card. It never made sense as a kid, before I really learned the workings of the business, that he would lose to somebody that was smaller than him, and I didn't understand why that would happen, because I just thought Dad could beat up anybody. He never disclosed inside information on the outcomes of matches. I'd always ask him every time, you know, the night of a pay-per-view. I'd be like, you know, are you going to win tonight? And he'd be like, just make sure you watch and record it. That's all he would say.
You never want to give the whole secret away.
Yeah.
I want him to watch things develop. You know what I mean?
Let's go, Rams, go!
Joe has watched his son develop, first into a collegiate standout at Ohio State, now as the leader of a reborn Rams defense.
He's Animal to the second power. You know, the kid is, he's genetically blessed. I mean, my wife was a heck of an athlete in high school. She was a bodybuilder. He's got this born in him. Look, see? That's genetics. Plus, mom and dad with big triceps, genetics. Since James could walk, I just knew There was something special about this kid. We would talk about football. I mean, he would sit there and watch football on TV, and he would study. And I said, James, watch the guy in the middle. He goes, what do they call it, Daddy? Oh, those are the linebackers. Watch those guys in the middle.
James is now one of those guys in the middle, and fans of the Road Warriors have followed him every step of the way. But what about following in Dad's footsteps? His Uncle John, also a former pro wrestler, wouldn't mind seeing the family business continue.
I'd always see him as maybe a moniker of the man in the middle.
Can I get this first hit out the way, man? Yeah.
James has something that you can't teach, and that's a natural charisma. It's the it factor that everybody talks about. If he was interested, Uncle John would be giving him a call.
So who is the toughest Laurinaitis in the household? Don't expect them to answer that one in the ring.
Oh, see, here it goes. Always got to one-up me.
I would never wrestle him. He would, do little suplexes off the diving board, which is essentially just getting lifted 12 feet in the air and doing a straight back flop on the pool, which never, ever felt good. So, beat you.
Oh, you got me on that one?
Yeah, I mean, there was no point in high school or college, I thought about wrestling them, and, there still isn't today.
I think James and Joe one-on-one would be a very interesting matchup. First of all, from a box office standpoint, I probably could sell that. The Road Warrior versus the Ram.
Hey, D, how about 3 now, baby?
I think that it would be a one-sided match at this point. I think James would be very surprised at how much his father still could handle him.
Joe Laurinaitis.
Hey, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You must got to be real proud of your son.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, he's a good boy.
For now, father and son are on the same side, but the roles are reversed. James used to be the animal's kid. Now Joe is the linebacker's dad, and he is content to live in his son's shadow.
He says to me, he goes, Dad, our dream's coming true. I get choked up. It ain't our dream, buddy. I'm here living his dream, you know what I mean? I don't know how much I love this kid. And to live his dream with him and be along with him for the ride and watch all the hard work. You say, wow, he really made it.